Good evening. The orchestra will begin our ceremony, and the students will be glad of your quiet attention as they play. Partway through the selection, you will be directed to rise as the platform party and the teachers enter.
Please remain standing for O Canada. Please be seated. Welcome, everyone, to the 2019 closing ceremony for our middle school. Because one of the pillars of our community is respect, we'll begin this gathering by offering words of recognition to our local Indigenous community. We acknowledge that our school rests in the heart of Strait Salish territory, a living culture with its own rites, ceremonies, and unfolding history. We honor the Esquimalt, Songhees, and Wasanich peoples, whose homelands we share and whom we recognize as our neighbors. This evening, in the space of roughly 2 hours, we are going to hear from our choir and our band and our orchestra. There will be speeches from our director and our head, and 3 more by groups of students from each of our classes. Later on, we'll watch a video that captures some of what is shared in those speeches. There will be awards for citizenship, leadership, and all-round ship. By the time we sing our school song and leave, the name of every single student will have been spoken. It's quite a lot to cover in an evening, but worthwhile, especially if we dig a little deeper into the recounting of events and ask ourselves the question, what was the purpose behind that? What's the purpose behind sending our students out surfing and kayaking? What's the purpose behind mounting a musical about a talking elephant? What's the purpose behind growing vegetables, taking them downtown, and preparing a meal for the street community? And right now, tonight, what's the purpose of every student having their moment on stage? If you keep this question in mind, I think you'll quickly realize that beyond all the happenings, beneath is something deeper than simply building a student's ability to accomplish a task. It's about drawing out character. It's about forging curious, collaborative, resilient, empathetic, balanced young learners who display initiative and integrity. It's about embodying values of service, honesty, respect, and courage. Yes, I know, so many words, and frankly, we don't always live up to them. Still, we strive. And in those moments when we fulfill the promise of these words, we find our own promise as well. So tonight, as the events of the year are laid before us, I invite you to listen for the values that reside at the heart of our community. It's our tradition to begin this ceremony with a moment of prayer. Let us pray. Gracious God, after so much effort by students and faculty, all supported behind the scenes by other staff and parents, we're grateful that there is so much to celebrate. This evening, may we be mindful not only of what tasks we've accomplished this year, but of who we're becoming as individuals and as a community. For the people around us, for the year behind us, for the night before us, we offer our thanks. So we pray, Amen.
So as the students move into position, please join me in thanking the grade 7-8 orchestra and band for a beautiful opening, with special recognition to Mrs. Mary Smith for her last public performance with the middle school. I invite our grade 8 students to join us on stage and find their seats. Welcome, grade 8s. Good evening to each and every one of you, and thank you for sharing tonight with us. We are grateful to have all of you, our students, parents, and extended families here to celebrate a successful school year. We are also pleased to have our faculty, staff, administration, members of the Board of Governors, Parents Auxiliary, and Alumni Association, as well as other special guests joining us on this glorious summer evening. Is there truly any day looked forward to more in the school year by our students than the very last day of school? My name is Kate Knight, and I have the pleasure of serving as the director of middle school this year, a wonderful place brimming with energy and exploration within the greater St. Michael's University School community. Reverend Fletcher alluded to purpose in his opening comments, and there can be no greater reason to gather together than to honor our collective community. Evenings such as this ask each of us to press the pause button on very busy lives and reflect upon the opportunities, events, and choices which have shaped our journeys to today, and consider what the future will hold as our students contemplate their journeys ahead. Preparing for this celebration has taken me back 30 years almost to the day, to June 1989, when I was sitting on the stage of my school auditorium at my own grade 8 graduation. This was clearly a very significant world event, at least in my narrow scope of what the world entailed at that time. The mention of 1989 will have many of you nodding or perhaps shaking your heads as your own memories of that time come flooding back. I strongly suggest that you resist the urge when you get home this evening to search your closets for that treasured acid-wash jean jacket or pair of Air Jordan sneakers. Some things are best left buried deep in the past. However, I did think it worth a brief walk down memory lane of what was going on in the world 30 years ago as we consider the world our students are living in now. What was different then, and what has remained largely unchanged? In 1989, a few things looked and felt a little different. Hair. My hair, and for most of you, your hair. I personally used to spend 45 minutes every morning just on my hair. Blow dry, 1/4 bottle of Final Net hairspray, bangs straight up. Yes, 1980s hair was awesome. The price of gas in Victoria was under 50 cents a liter. Ouch. There was no internet, and our eyes were not glued to cell phones 24/7. A few fun facts. Mr. Bell, Ms. Bottomley, and Mrs. Donatelli were not even born yet. Mrs. Smith was already in her 3rd year of teaching and developing the strings program at SMU. Mrs. Mollenhauer had just started at SMU, 1989 was her first year, and Mr. Williams was clearly dreaming about working at SMU as he would join our community just a few short years later. Major news headlines of the year included the oil tanker Exxon Valdez running aground in Alaska and the fall of the Berlin Wall, as well as the first successful living donor liver transplant. The Nintendo Game Boy was released in North America, and the television show The Simpsons had its premiere. 3 of the top songs on the Billboard chart that year belonged to R&B duo Milli Vanilli, who were later exposed as frauds who actually did not sing any of the vocals on their music releases. They were only lip-syncing the lyrics. That controversy was our reality TV in 1989. Fortunately, more legitimate artists such as Madonna, Janet Jackson, and Bon Jovi were revolutionizing the music scene in more positive ways. For all that seems so different when we think back 30 years, there are so many things about our daily lives which remain the same. The fight for democracy is still being waged in places around the world. The Simpsons is still on TV. Grade 7 boys in 2019 tend to be a tad forgetful and have a tendency to lose or misplace almost everything. Family calendars are still bursting with carpools, activities, practices, and birthday parties. Madonna, Janet Jackson, and Bon Jovi are making music for new generations of fans. Students have the same hopes and worries, wonderings about how life might turn out, and concern for one another and the world around them as we did at their age. And Mrs. Smith, Ms. Molly, and Mr. Williams are all still teaching in the middle school, though today marks the end of that significant era. There are many new challenges for our students as well, things the adults in the room didn't have to contend with when we were in middle school. But by and large, more is the same on a fundamental level than is different. As the students can see, we are happy to report that we survived the trials and tribulations of middle school and adolescence, and we think we turned out just fine. I'd like to think that this garners a sense of wonder in our students, but I suspect that eye rolls are the more likely response. The big question is, when these kids sit up here 30 years from now, what stories will they tell? What will be different, and what will remain largely unchanged? We've been reminded of what has been happening in the bigger world. Now, I'd like to take a moment to share what has been going on all year in our corner of the globe. The highlights are too extensive to list, but I will pinpoint a few to give you a sense of what kept us busy in the middle school this year. Our academic program included an impressive array of interdisciplinary and experiential projects, from race cars and a sustainable school redesign to mummifying chickens, an archaeological big dig, evolution projects and exhibitions, the amazing race, food trucks, and exploring the human condition and our community through a social injustice lens. Students also tackled physical fitness, career exploration, technology, design, and outdoor education. Our athletic team shone across a wide variety of recreational and competitive sports, and were honored with multiple city and ISA championships and even a provincial qualification. We had athletes travel to Halifax for soccer and to Edmonton for squash. Our track and field team qualified just shy of 50 athletes for finals at the championship meet, with many ribbons and personal bests earned. Perhaps the most significant accomplishment, however, was that close to 90% of our student body played on one or more of our extracurricular athletic teams throughout the course of the year. The arts were prominent as well, with moving choral performances on Remembrance Day, at Christ Church Cathedral, and at the University of Victoria. Mr. Frater even found an opportunity for some students to sing in a Pink Floyd tribute concert just a few weeks ago. #LifeGoals. Mrs. Smith and her students raised the bar yet again with outstanding strings concerts in November and April, as well as performances throughout the year in chapel, and the opportunity to learn from and play with the visiting Lafayette String Quartet. Mr. Enns, his beard, and his band students dazzled us with Halloween, Christmas, and spring concerts, as well as a variety of opportunities to be entertained by truly talented jazz musicians. Art decorated the hallways of the middle school and also found its way into local community exhibits. Mrs. Bottomley encouraged her students to consider identity, injustice, and the environment in their work, and the results of their collaborative efforts are on display here tonight. And of course, there was Seussical. No year in the middle school is complete without a few circus performers and lots of imagination, and Seussical delivered both in spades, showcasing the incredible talent of so many students and their supporters, both on stage and off. Finally, our students embraced opportunities for service and leadership. Through visiting senior citizens to learn about empathy and storytelling, growing food to share with the greater and wider Victoria community, tending to the environment, stepping outside their comfort zone to compete in robotics or presenting speeches in French, and leading clubs and councils and conferences, our students stepped up and stepped in to make a difference. Sometimes their acts were small, sometimes huge, and sometimes they went unnoticed by all except the person on the receiving end of their kindness and compassion and desire to make the world a better place. But they happened nonetheless, and our school was the better for it. The end of this school year, unfortunately, means that we must say goodbye to several people who are dear to our hearts and who have helped shape the middle school experience, whether for a short time or a long one. Jim Williams, Nancy Mollenhauer, and Mary Smith are retiring after almost 90 years of collective service. Their legacy is evident in our building, but also in the hundreds of students who have been lucky enough to pass through their classrooms. They are the middle school in so many ways, and though we will miss them, we wish them the best for the next stage of their very full and busy lives. Lucia McKenzie and Amanda Chen, two faculty who are on leave this year from the school, will be moving on to new opportunities next year, and we wish them well as they explore new pathways. Devin Bottomley, Megan Blackie, Jeremy Bell, and Suzanne Weckend will also be leaving us. We are very grateful for the time and energy they brought to daily life in the middle school. From the moving farewells offered by students today in our morning assembly, It is clear that they have made a difference. Lawrence Wong has accepted a position in the senior school art department for next year. Our grade 8 students may be fortunate enough to have him as a teacher as they move on to high school. Daryl Haydock is not leaving the middle school permanently, but will be taking a sabbatical next year. She has promised to send just enough postcards and updates as she travels and explores far-flung regions of the globe to produce a suitable amount of envy and wanderlust in her colleagues. I will also be heading into a sabbatical next year and then ultimately a new adventure. I cannot think of a better way to bring my 5 years at SMU to a close than to have had the opportunity to work and learn alongside these students, these colleagues, and these parents this year. I am so grateful for your patience and acceptance as I join this very special community. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to share the middle school with these young people. Every day, you blew me away with your capacity for curiosity, resilience, humor, and volume of lost and found articles. I leave this experience a better listener, educator, leader, and human being, and I extend my gratitude to each and every one of you. You have made a significant impact on my life, and I am very proud of you. I hope you are proud of yourselves. As I wrap up, I could think of lots of advice to offer our students as they contemplate next steps, be that grade 7, grade 8, or high school. But I wondered what advice the students might offer one another as the calendar ticks over to summer holidays and a new school year looms on the horizon. I took to the hallways and classrooms of middle school over the past few weeks to see what intergenerational advice the students might have to offer, and here is what the students wish to share with one another. Time passes quickly, so make the most of it. Don't wait to be told you are ready to lead. Just start doing it. Remember what it felt like to be new or not good at something, and lend a helping hand to those who are experiencing things for the first time. Help them learn how we do things around here, or better yet, show them. Think about what makes you, you, unique, quirky you, and embrace it. Whether you are the top of the heap, the bottom of the pile, or the middle of the middle, we are all part of the same sandwich, and it all works best when we all work together. Don't be afraid to fail, ask questions, be kind, and trust yourself. You can do this. In the week of June 17th, 1989, the top song in the Billboard chart was "I'll Be Loving You Forever" by New Kids on the Block. To the grade 8 graduating class, we'll be missing you next year and wish you the best as your new high school journey begins. You are well on your way to understanding the preparation for higher learning and for life that our school mission speaks to. Now it's time to put your learning into action. And with that call to action, let's get on with our show. Tonight, each student will be recognized through the presentation of their record of achievement. For parents of students new to SMU this year, a brief word about what our students will be receiving. The record of achievement lists achievements and contributions over the course of the year and is divided into 4 areas: special awards, academic awards, co-curricular activities, and service leadership. These documents illustrate the wide range of accomplishments and contributions of our students. Many things that are listed come from opportunities that keep students active and engaged in meaningful participation, provide social interaction with peers and adults, and allow for creative expression. They have also kept you as parents hopping to get your children from one activity to the next. Many of our students take advantage of the breadth of opportunities available to them and have accomplished and earned significant results. Students will be called by name in groups of 18 to 20 or so. They will come up on stage to receive their record of achievement and be congratulated with a handshake. They will then proceed to the end of the stage to wait until their whole group has been called and recognized. The group will then exit the stage and return to their seats, and the next group will be called. I will now ask Mary Smith, as well as Shelley Berlin, representative from the Board of Governors, to step forward and present records of achievement to our grade 6 students.
Please hold your applause until a group of students have been presented. There will be 3 groups. Charlie Anderson. Avli Bell. Will Cudahy. Matthew DeGoey. Marcus Jurikovich. Jack Driscoll. Kate Fraser. Julian Gale. Avery Geddes. Cypress Gilhooly. Aaron Gill. Duristi Govender. Brody Harris. J. Elijah Hellman. Maya Hoaxman. Christopher Hoydle Payne. Diana Hu. Cameron Jones. Connor Kipling. This is the first group of grade 6. Caitlin Kirkpatrick. Ben Kuzminski Perry. Braxton Lechner. Chelsea Lee. Jessica Liao. Elliot Marais. Maya McConaughey. Jacob Meadows. Noah Mello. Haven Miller. Cooper Mills. Caitlin Mullen. Liam Murtaugh. Sierra Myers. Zara Nico Sichani. Kiyomi Nishima. Roshan Pathak. Anna Plata. Kate Pontefract. Will Porter. Oliver Priscello. This is the second group of grade 6. Harris Rothwell. Julia Rothwell. Owen Sandquist Sherman. Teya Schlinainin, Lila Shetty, Addison Sigurdsson, Avery So, Dean Tatra, Bianca Tuoxen, Willow Sonev, Ewan Weber-Smith, Griffin Weeks, Will Woods, Kevin Zhang, and Larissa Zhao. This is the final group of grade 6. I now invite Maya Hoeksman, Jay Hellman, and Larissa Zhao to share grade 6 student reflections on the year that they have had.
Hello, my name is Larissa Zhao, and I joined the SMOO community this year.
Hello, my name is Jay Elijah Hellman, and I joined the SMOO community this year as well.
Hello, my name is Maya Hoeksman, and I came to SMOO in grade 2.
So much has happened in grade 6 for students, me being one of them. When I first came to SMOO, I didn't have a lot of friends, and the people I already knew were in different classes than I was, which gave me opportunities to make new friends. When we started Seussical the musical, I learned how to collaborate with others since we needed to collaborate in order to get the choreography. We also had to help each other get where we needed to be when we needed to be there. Seussical helped me make new friends and get better at collaborating. Since I'm talking about collaboration, I'm excited to tell you about house games. I enjoy house games a lot because we all get to come together and cheer each other on in the name of rivalry. No matter who you are, everyone puts aside differences in order to offer support and encouragement. House games is definitely something I will remember later on in life. Go Barnacle.
I'm going to talk about the sporting events and how much responsibility we have compared to elementary schools. First off, I joined 4 different sports teams this year, which were track and field, basketball, soccer, and volleyball. In those sports teams, we learned how to work as a team. Sports teams also helped us get better at communicating with each other. Some examples of working together are in the relay races and passing the ball in sports, such as basketball and soccer. Playing those different sports helped us make other friends as well. The next thing I want to talk about is having more responsibility. There are a lot of things that were different from grade 5. Grade 5, we couldn't walk to classes by ourselves, but now we can walk from class to class by ourselves, walk to the Sun Center with our friends, and do whatever we want to do at lunch. Now that was really fun. Those are my top 2 things I really want to talk about, and I've really enjoyed my first day at SMOO.
I've always loved the projects we have done, and that's why I loved the big project we did this year called SSR. SSR stands for Sustainable School Redesign, and we were tasked with making our school green with researching, interviewing, and learning from experts to find out the best solutions. We worked hard by brainstorming and collaborating, and even learned new skills. One of which is learning how to use a scalable vector graphics program called Inkscape. Some of us started knowing nothing about this program and have worked hard to learn and finally make our final piece. For the parents and grandparents that came to our SSR expedition, you would have seen the great posters that our classmates and I have made and are quite proud of. Speaking of being proud of what we have done this year, I'm going to talk a bit about band class. When our grade came to the middle school, some of us started band class, and almost everyone who chose an instrument, they have never played that one before. Everyone playing a wind instrument started with blowing into a mouthpiece with a screech, and now in June, we are playing beautiful melodies. And in the percussion section, we started with just keeping time, and now can play quick rhythms and complex songs. It is crazy to think that just a grade of grade 6s could come all this way in just a year, and I'm eager to find out what's in store for us in grade 7. Thank you.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to address you all here this evening. And Miss Knight, thank you very much indeed for the invitation to be with you. I was asked to say a few words of wisdom to the grade 8s, and I think you've already done that. That was absolutely fantastic. What a speech with all sorts of nuggets and words of wisdom there. I'm not sure I can trump that, so I might take a slightly different tack. But this has no doubt been an exceptionally successful year for our middle school. An inevitable part of that, and an inevitable part about progress up the grades, are exams and tests. And these can be pretty daunting. But I'd just like to reassure you all that there can also be a funny side to exams as well. When all is said and done, I think we have to keep life in perspective. So I collected together just a couple of comments about exam scripts that I've had access to recently. Here's a couple of them. Gravity was invented by Isaac Newton. It mainly happens in the fall when apples are falling off trees. Name 5 animals that live in the Arctic. 2 seals and 3 polar bears. Explain the term free press. Oh, that's when your mum irons your shirts for you. Where was the American Declaration of Independence signed? At the bottom. Exams, tests, qualifications, all very important. But I think it's vital we bear in mind what is the purpose and that we keep life in perspective. Those students sitting on the stage and others here may think that once school is out of the way, that will be the end of exams. But let me tell you, it doesn't work quite like that. Many of you in your professions will be sitting exams on a fairly regular basis. I thought I actually had completed my last exam, and then we decided to move to Canada. In Canada, there's a different traffic system, and to convert your driving license from a UK one to a Canadian one, you've guessed it, you have to do a little test. Well, most of that was a tick-boxy sort of affair where you could just put in the dots, as it were. But then I found out that there was also an oral question. This took me totally by surprise. I turned up to the driving centre, and a lady who must have seen that I was head of school decided to ask the difficult question. What do you do if you come up behind a stationary school bus with its lights flashing? Well, I have to confess, I didn't know the answer. I thought that this is going to probably set me back 3 or 4 months. What am I going to do if I can't drive and I can't move forward? So I decided to do what heads of school generally do, which is to try and blag it a little bit. So I said, well, you go very, very slowly, don't you? Looking for a little bit of expression from her face. Started to get the answer, no, you really don't. You go really slowly and you put your indicators on and you check your mirror. No, you don't. In the end, thankfully, the person doing the testing had a little bit of humanity, and she reassured me that you actually had to stop. So with a little bit of sign language and her reading her face, I was able to pass the test. Thank you, Canada, for being such a welcoming place. I've also done 2 levels of powerboat operators license tests. And for those of you that wonder why I've got a series of ropes and knots in my office, it's because I've been practicing my half hitches, my sheep shank, and my bowline. I did actually pass those exams, you'll be relieved to know. But our chaplain invited us in his wonderful introduction to keep in mind the question, what's the purpose? If I'm honest, the purpose behind the tests that I had to pass was simply getting a certificate. It was not good education. In fact, probably the worst type of education, learning a few rote answers to questions I tried to predict to get the qualification to be able to move on. The purpose of a good school or a great school is to provide an excellent, holistic education, providing a rock-solid, outstanding foundation for real life. This afternoon at the junior school closing ceremony, I talked about a quote attributed to Irish poet W.B. Yeats. "Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." Over the course of this year, I've been looking, listening, and learning, and I've seen plenty of sparks being ignited at our middle school. An inquiry-based curriculum, no easy answers, but students encouraged to find the answers out for themselves. My day student shadowing revealed a great deal, and it showed me that this is a caring place where students are led in the art of curiosity. I've seen wonderful strings, band, and vocal concerts. I've been impressed by team and individual performances, many victories, just a few defeats. I've seen salmon eggs being hatched, tended, and then released. This is a very good thing because I'm a very keen fisherman. Science projects designed and devices for the future being invented and moved forward. And then sustainability in action. The Sustainable School Project was most impressive. That word sustainability, I think, is very important indeed and is something that we need to focus on as a school over the course of the next few years. A fire safety course will tell you that the 3 essential ingredients for combustion are fuel, heat, and air or oxygen. I like to think that the fuel is the structure, the curriculum, the school, its facilities, the building blocks. The heat is the motivation and the enthusiasm developed by each of our students. The air is the constant flow of encouragement and support from our faculty. Even with these 3 elements, it still needs ignition, and that's the spark of inspiration that we all need to look for. For now, I should like to record my thanks to our faculty for their splendid contributions, but particularly to reiterate Miss Knight's words in recognition of those long-serving colleagues who are retiring after devoting the majority of their working lives to our students and our school. Although she's only been interim director of middle school for 1 year, nevertheless, Miss Knight has made a most positive impact out of all proportion to the time. You may not know, but she's incredibly well qualified. Degrees, according to the number I could count, from at least 3 leading universities. A degree in leadership from Calgary, and it shows. Experience as a principal of an innovative cutting-edge school, 2006 to 12. The calm confidence that comes from having supported a school through a crisis. You may not know, but Kate was the person that was looking after the emergency response after a ship sank with pupils on it off Brazil. I think if you can cope with that, you can cope with most things that the middle school throws at you. And perhaps most importantly, she shows a real commitment to support all students in a selfless and caring way. Miss Knight has provided the best possible platform for the arrival of Mr. Brambley when he joins us as our Director of Middle School in August. So we're most grateful, Kate. Thank you so much, and very best wishes on your own path for the future. In conclusion, then, we live in exciting times. We can look back on a wonderful year of success and opportunity with a real sense of pride and achievement. We can look forward to new purpose as we put in place a new strategic plan which will be discussed and debated over the course of the autumn. This plan will be informed by a vast number of ideas generated by arguably the broadest ever consultation undertaken by a school in Canada. We are most grateful to the literally hundreds of you who have contributed to that process. From what I have seen and learnt, we have here the best possible structure. For the vital formative years, grades 6 to 8, we have a dedicated facility staffed by faculty, specialists and experts in their own subject areas. I believe our students can get the best possible stepping stone from junior into senior school, where foundations are laid, curiosity is nurtured, and relationships are cemented. Far from middle school syndrome being a negative, I believe we should see it as a great advantage. I think this structure that we have is one that we need to build and nurture. And I hope that in the future we can look forward and far from the mention of middle child or middle school syndrome having a negative connotation, I hope we can all pull together in making sure that is reversed so that the middle school is the best of both worlds. So back to the question that our chaplain posed for us. What's the purpose? Well, I could go on for a very long time, and I know far longer than your patience would give me. So I don't think we can do much better than summing up that purpose in these words that will be very familiar to some of you. If I stand on my own, so be it. A person's a person, no matter how small. You can throw me in jail, lock me up in a zoo, but I won't desert my egg, and I will not abandon who. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Thank you.
We will now invite our grade 6 students to the risers, and they'll be sharing a choral selection with us. Thank you to our grade 6 students for that beautiful song. I will now ask Jim Williams, as well as Nan Mathavan, representative from the Parents Auxiliary, to step forward and present records of achievement to our grade 7 students.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to introduce the grade 7 class of 2018-19. Man Al-Hajjaj. Man, messed it on the first one, man. It's only going to get better, exactly. Damon Baines. Ali Bola. Yu-Ray Chu. Jacqueline Chow. Kian Colgate. Isha Cordy Stevens. Annika Delight. Marlene Dietrich. Jack Dubé. Choma Duru. Anna Eels. Katie Eaton. Sophia Ailey. Sebastian Ellis Gray. Eric Feng. Rihanna Finnegan. Caden Fuller. Alexander Han. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first group of grade 7 students. Pippa Lannon. Annabelle Howard. Sierra Jacob. Dom Jiang. Stuart Kerr. Joshua Kruger. Rowan Lee. Rosie Leggett. Jeffrey Leung. Sophia Lee. Soa Liabriere. Kevin Lim. Aiden Mackay. Rishi Mathavan. Liam McIlvaney. gets a hug. Abby McLeish-Shaw. Daring Meng. Alex Motherwell. Mia Muller. Ava Nisbet. This is our second group of grade 7 students. Spencer Peters. Nirvika Pillay. Lucas Kwan. Jenna Robinson. Samantha Robinson. Finley Rolfe. Saba Shariati. Sienna Sheehan. Matthew Singh. William Song. Michael Tang. Sophia Sepenyuk. Olivia Vincent. Freya Walton. Madeline Wilson. Max Yuen. Bianca Zebrowski. And Yudi Zhang. Ladies and gentlemen, our grade 7 class. I now invite Stuart Kerr and Annabelle Howard to share grade 7 student reflections on the year.
Hello, my name is Stuart, and I came to SMU in grade 5.
Hi, my name's Annabelle, and I came in grade 6.
Grade 7 has been a great year. It's gone by very quickly. It felt just like yesterday that we started term 2. Annabelle and I are going to share some events and projects that happened throughout the year.
We started off the year with a 3-night trip to Camp Thunderbird. On the first day, we had a number of different activities, such as canoeing, rock climbing, and archery. We stayed in cabins the first night, and yes, boys and girls were in different cabins. The second day, we packed for our hiking trip, ate lunch, and then set off in our groups of 10. This time, rather than cozy cabins, we slept in our sleeping bags under tarps. Of course, both nights it rained, but luckily the tarps kept us nice and dry. The next day, after hiking for 2 hours in a circle, we realized why a map and compass were on a packing list.
One academic project that we completed this year that many people enjoyed was the Create Your Own Civilization project. The Create Your Own Civilization project will hereby be known as the CYOC project. The CYOC project was designing our own ideal ancient civilization. We got to choose how the government ran and how our civilization traded with other civilizations. We had to make a map and write 2 pieces about geography and politics of our civilization. Many of us made a pyramid to represent social structure. We got to choose if we wanted to make an artifact about one achievement or make something about religion in our civilization.
Another exciting project was the Fair Game project, which we did with the grade 4s. Our task was to create a game for them that was fun and just maybe teach them some math. There were 2 main criteria for the games. One was that the games had to be fair. The other one was to apply what we had learned about calculating the area of a circle, triangle, and other geometrical shapes. We visited the grade 4s to get to know them and create a more personalized game. It was really satisfying to watch them enjoying the games, although sometimes making sure they followed the rules made us really appreciate the job our teachers do.
One of the things in grade 7 that is at the end of the year is that you have the chance to apply to become a web leader, be a new student orientation leader, or go to the CASE Leadership Conference in Ontario. There are also councils that anyone can join. By joining these councils, you can help plan things like the school dance or the next service day. One thing that I found is no matter what grade you're in, there's always a way to be a leader. I think that to be a leader or to lead is to step up, to look out for others, and keep in mind the school pillars: courage, honesty, respect, and service.
We'd like to thank all the teachers for their enthusiasm, encouragement, and kindness throughout the year. The school would not be the same without teachers going the extra mile, staying after school, encouraging us to do our best. We have a great group of middle school teachers. Thank you so much. And finally, we'd like to thank our parents. Supporting us has really helped us grow. Thank you very much. Now we'd like to invite Mrs. Mollenhauer to come to the podium.
Do I need that? Let's see. Let's check it. Let's see. Whoa. I feel really tall. No, I'm going to not. I'm going to not. Oh, are you standing beside me, Jimmy? Because if you are, then I for sure would. Then I for sure would. Okay. Wow, this is exciting. Before we get started, I would really love to invite Stacy Jameson de Nantoy, representing the Alumni Association, to join me up on the stage to present the Records of Achievement to our awesome grade 8 graduates. Thank you. Hi. We all set? Yeah, got it. Got it. They look pretty good, don't they? They dress up nicely. McKenna Anderson. Anna Asadi. Daniel Benjamin. Daniel Bennett. Matthew Bennett. Hadi Bilal. Maya Brinham. Violet Brownsey. Jamie Bullweitzel. Alistair Burridge. Tyson Chestnut. Alyssa Chu. Tommy Cram. Eva Cudahy. Our first group of awesome grade 8s. Aliénor de Nantel. Ella Delight. Oh, that's nice, eh? Aaron Delali. Maya Jurichkovich. Ty Driscoll. Zephyr Fisher Frankie. Layla Foster. Lauren Fracey. John Fu. Diego Gomez. Jai Graffi. Sorry, I was just getting excited there. Nachel Greenwald. Larissa Gutierrez Arbayo. Kian Hashimi. Bryson Henry. Our second awesome group of grade 8s. Nokia Higurashi. Jasmine Hobbs. Josephina Ingemanson. Jonah Johnston. Harrison Jones. Quinn Kerr. Ryan Kaloran. Charlotte Lee. Jeff Lay. Xander Leluski. Bella Liu. Ravi McLean. Josephine Mason Woodcock. Brianne McLeish. Jenna Mello. Our third amazing group of grade 8s. Avery Myers. Ellie Nickerson. Ava O'Connor. Lucy O'Connor, not twins. Axel Otto. Neil Pacrassi. Arjun Pathak. Talia Pike. Alec Platé. Cole Pontefract. Luciano Casada. Alex Ross. Cameron Ross. Sebastian Solomon Wong. Kyle Scheiling. Our last but not quite awesome group of grade 8s. Bhavi Singh. Alexander Tuoxen. Avery Vaughn. Audrey Wang. Rowan Williams. Campbell Wilson. Ethan Woods. Samantha Yee, Grace Yin, and last but certainly not least, Amy Zettler. Ladies and gentlemen, our graduating class of grade 8 students. I'd like to now invite Violet Brownsey, Layla Foster, Xander Leluski, and Matthew Bennett to share grade 8 reflections.
Hi, I'm Violet and I'm new to SMU this year.
I'm Matthew and I came in grade 6.
I'm Layla and I came in grade 7.
I'm Xander and I've been here since grade 2.
Today, I'm going to be speaking about my experience being a new grade 8 student at SMU. At the beginning of the year, I was nervous to start a new school, but immediately I was embraced with open arms, not only into the school, but also into the community and home of SMU. This year, I have made many new friends, participated in sports, and been in the school musical. Throughout my year, I have been welcomed into SMU by students and many teachers. The reason I have felt so welcomed into the middle school is because everyone is very willing to help when you need it and make sure there are many opportunities for students and all different interests.
My grade 8 year was by far the most eventful year in the middle school. We started the year with a full program of sports, like cross country, soccer, and grade 8 rugby. In rugby, we played competitive games against Shawnigan. In soccer, we entered a few jamborees and played very well in those games, winning and losing and learning as a team. It was a smooth transition into the winter sports. We had a very full basketball season, and we ended off very strong at ISAs, with both boys and girls grade 8 teams finishing very high on the leaderboard in Vancouver. In the spring, I was a part of the grade 7-8 under 160 pounds rugby team. We were undefeated playing in the Jamboree, SMU hosts annually, and went on to win the Kuklinski Cup. In track and field, we had lots of strong competitors. The grade 8 boys 4x100 team placed third in the Island Championships, and the girls team came first. All credit goes to all the teachers and coaches that brought out the best in us this year. Academically, my teachers helped me get through my middle school years, especially my grade 8 year. One great event was the Grade 8 Leadership Conference, organized and executed by students. There were over 125 students that attended from all over the province. I met new people and learned new things. The conference ended with a huge color fest on the field. My advice for future middle schoolers would be to do everything your teacher says, stay out of trouble, and join as much as you can.
My grade 8 year here at SMU has been both a highlight here and in all my years of school. For me, one of the most memorable events of grade 8 was participating in the first LEGO League. I learned many skills involving coding and engineering, and overall, I had a great time collaborating with peers to create our LEGO robot. I also participated in the Kids Lit Quiz, which was a unique chance to test my literary knowledge. It also gave me a chance to connect with students in different grades who shared my passion for literature and wanted to have fun while doing it. Another highlight of my grade 8 year was participating in the SMU sailing team. The SMU sailing team had a total of 2 regattas, at which SMU placed in each of them. Sailing really helped me develop resilience, and I am grateful for the unique opportunity of learning how to sail in an Optimist boat. My advice to all students is to seize the moment and try as many new things as possible to make the most of your time here at SMU.
For me, one of the best parts about SMU Grade 8 is the opportunities, specifically the leadership opportunities. I was very fortunate to attend the CASE Leadership Conference, where we stayed at a camp in Ontario for 5 days to enhance our leadership skills, learning how to be a better leader, and it's something I see great value in. I got to meet new people and make new friends from all around Canada that I keep in contact with today. Matthew and I were the 2 captains for the rugby team, where we both had to step up and be leaders and role models. Our team participated in the City Championships Rugby Jamboree, playing 5 games in a short amount of time. We worked very hard, and in our final game, we came out on top because of our effort, something that going to SMU had taught us in the years being here. My piece of advice for future grade 8s is to take the opportunities given to you, as they have great value to you as a person and demonstrate the 4 pillars of honesty, service, respect, and courage. Thank you for this great year. We have really enjoyed it. We have many great memories that we will take with us as we journey on into grade 9. Thank you.
This morning at our closing assembly, we acknowledged students in grades 6 and 7 with some special awards. Students were recognized in the areas of leadership, citizenship, and all-roundship, I believe it was called. So with Mr. Turner's help, we'd like to now present these special awards to some of our grade 8 students. We would ask that you hold your applause until all students have been called in each category. The first category is leadership. Please bear with me because I think it's important for you to know what the criteria are for these awards. These students demonstrate active involvement in the middle school community. They are committed in the area of service. They contribute to a variety of activities and enhance the spirit of the school, and they exemplify the 4 pillars that Xander spoke of. So we're happy to award the Leadership Award in grade 8 to Ella Delight, Maya Jerkovich, and Jonah Johnson. The next award is citizenship. These students build a community atmosphere by including people with diverse perspectives and points of view. They're known to us, the faculty, as congenial, reliable, honest, mature, and respected by their peers. They're seen as positive role models to the wider community, and they also exemplify the pillars. The first person is Daniel Benjamin. We'll just hold our applause till the end. Thank you, grade 6s. Alyssa Chu, Nachel Graywall, Nokia Higurashi, Brianne McLeish, Ava O'Connor, and finally, Samantha Yee. There are 4 students receiving our final award tonight. This is the All-Round Achievement Award. These students demonstrate high academic achievement. They're strong contributors to both the fine arts program and the sports program, as well as demonstrating good citizenship. They're seen as positive citizens of the school through their commitment, known to be students of strong personal character, and they exemplify the pillars. So the first student is Eva Kadahi. Thank you again, grade 6s. Ryan Kaloran. Neil Pakrazi. And finally, Talia Pike. Congratulations. Shall we have a song? Thank you, grade 8s. I see many of you waving your programs. We're coming close to the finish here. We're now getting ready to, yes, we are. We're now getting ready to watch our year-end video. So if you just give us a minute, we're going to ask the grade 8s to turn their chairs around so they can see the screen, and Mr. Turner and Ms. Knight to move to the front.
A couple of tips. First of all, I know I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I mean, show some character. That one character is funny, but I know it's somewhere and I hope it's beautiful. But by the end of the day, it's the more the merrier, right? You are good enough. Okay, it should be put on a stamp.
Archaeologist, hardcore.
Outstanding.
Minus 10. No, they're just normal starbursts.
Normal starbursts.
I found a big one.
Excellent, excellent. Dr. Stafford, please address me by my proper name.
We found a part of the map. about Sims.
Anything's possible.
Think of an elephant up in a tree. Think of a person too heavy to see.
Think of a bird with a one-legged tail, going on adventure down a dangerous trail. The biggest tail, the biggest tail. Think of a bird who flies on free. Amazing, its fingers can be down. Amazing, it was all for sale free.
Out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains. Think of a general crazy for war. Our boys believe in the right of every human to eat their bread. Butter, shut up! Butter, shut up! Something horrible and hairy, something sinister and scary that you never could think of before. All alone in the gloom, as you're facing your doom, think a glimmer of light. Ah, I hope you're prepared to be scared and scared, 'cause this ain't all the
Who believes in me? I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe.
We gotta monkey around, come on.
Twice sold to the man with the greasy long beard and gray ponytail.
And the more the stumble, you think it, 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 just think. All the things you can think and wonder and dream far and wide as you can. When your things are not right, you can blink of an eye. There's another thing there. If you open your mind, all the things you will find, lining up together.
All the things you can think, 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 all the things you can tell yourself how lucky you are. When you think about Sue, when you think about Sue, when you think about
How's it feel? First show.
It was a little bit scary.
Good. see you.
It is hard to believe that so much happened in only 1 year, and that was just a snapshot. Thank you to George Floyd for the many hours required to put this video together. I will now ask the grades 7 and 8 band members to make their way to the single gym to collect instruments and be seated for the final performance. This evening would not be possible without the time and energy of so many people. The hands that go into making this event a success, on stage and behind the scenes, are numerous. Thank you to everyone who has supported this celebration. As summer holidays begin, on behalf of the faculty and staff of the middle school, we wish everyone a restful and rejuvenating break. We're going to move quietly, right, band members? Whether your plans include travel near or far, exploring the local community, learning a new skill, or simply attacking the stack of books which have been calling your name for months, we hope that you have time to pause, take stock, and set new goals for the coming school year. Before you know it, it will be time to restock uniform pieces, school supplies, and imaginations in preparation for September. May your minds be full with opportunity and excitement as those days draw near. A few final reminders for this evening. Grade 7-8 students, please collect your instruments before departing the school. We invite all of you to join us for refreshments in the Monkman foyer at the end of the ceremony. Thank you to our grade 7-8 band students who are going to close out the evening for us. And with only moments standing between celebration and summer holidays, let's hear it, students. Woo! Please join us in bringing this wonderful evening to a close with the singing of the school song. Words are available in your program, followed by the recessional. It'll just take a moment for the band to get organized.
Okay, so this isn't in the script. We got one last little item before we play the recessional. I'll be very brief. Ms. Knight is leaving us, as we all know. There's already been tribute to that, but she was her and Mr. Turner and Mr. Rodford, a very special part of our cross-campus band concert performance. And so as a going-away gift to Ms. Knight, we have bought her own gong beater mallet. So this mallet that you're going to use right now. And then I had this idea that she would play like she did at the concert, but she's got to recess and get out of here. So instead of ending the concert with the gong, she's going to start the recessional with the gong. And we've got a little engraving on the mallet that says, I chose it, I don't know what it says. It says something about, here's to all your future gong shows. From middle school, SMU Middle School. Thank you for everything. All right, so join us, please.
Hopefully this one won't fall on you. It's awesome. It's perfect. Just do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. When she did this at the concert, the gong landed on her toe. So we thought the least we can do, since we didn't get her proper medical treatment, is a new gong mallet. Okay, so as soon as we hit the first chord, just hit it. Okay, here we go, guys.
Just hit it.